have a package for young Tails? Or James? What? I'm not James. Idiot.
Huh. I was sure that was James.
You thought wrong.
So, I don't know if you know this, but James, the Odd One's Out, made a book, like 3 weeks ago. And for the first time in 2 years, I decided to buy a book that I actually wanted to read. Granted, I didn't get a signed version of his book, but, you know, it's whatever. It would cost more money, and James and I are BFFs anyway. But that's not important. What is important is that some of you haven't even bought the book and are looking for some sort of validation to get it. Well, don't worry. After watching this video, you will know everything you need to know before deciding to buy it. And we'll also address the most important factor, what I think of the book. So enough of this introduction. Welcome to Young Tales' most professional, totally unbiased book critique / review of the Odd One's Out book. Yeah. Upon first inspection of the book, you will notice that it is blue. Well, blue is my favorite color, so we're off to a good start. Analyzing the characters on the cover page, you will discover a mix of emotions in each individual. The variation in expressions elicit different emotions, and therefore making you curious about reading the inner contents. Seems like good material. It's not made in China, but Canada? Ooh, that's where Domix and Gingerpale live. Oh, but what is this? Misalignment of page numbers? Come on, James, what is that? Minus 10 points. Also, all the characters on this cover page can be found except for one. This chicken. I don't know about you, but I think book covers should accurately portray what's in the book. What if I wanted so badly to see the chicken illustration in the book, only to find that it was only put on the title page just because? I'd be so sad and deceived. Clickbait. Or bookbait. Or readbait. I don't know. Unless if this was supposed to be the chicken, which I guess if that's the case, then fine, I'll let it slide. Moving on, this book contains a whopping 227 pages. I remember when I was little, reading books that had a little over 100 pages were a challenge for me to finish in a week. It pleases me to let you know that I managed to finish this book in just a few hours. Why? Because I'm a grown-up now, so 200 pages are easy money. Also, it's probably because he uses a lot of pictures and he uses a pretty big font. In the event that you need a last-minute book report, well, Hakuna Matata. James even includes an ad-lib book report template thingy for students to use, assuming the school will allow them to do a book report on it. I don't know how well that would do in a college setting, though. I'll just leave my book report version in the description below in case you want to read it. Now that we're getting into what's actually in the book, let me make something clear. Obviously, I'm not going to just criticize illustrations like, that's not a realistic hand, or that doesn't even look like a laser gun. I'm not even going to grade his grammar or sentence structure because, one, I suck at grammar myself, so I'm definitely not the best judge, and that's also because that's just dumb. They're cartoons. Cartoons don't have to be super realistic. I don't even think they're supposed to be. Is this criticism? Some people think so. I will say that I appreciate the fact that he redrew all of the drawings in his book. I mean, could you imagine if he just copied and pasted the images from his videos to the corresponding pages of his book? James wouldn't do anything like that. That would be inconceivable. The pictures themselves are great, except it's obviously clear that those are Yu-Gi-Oh cards. But does he say that? No. James withheld information. Minus 10 points. Hey, what do all these minus points mean? I don't know, I thought it'd make it more official. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, let's get into the book. The book is broken down into 14 chapters, each chapter being its own story with a little moral at the end. A bit of James' wisdom, if you will. I will say that I was hoping that James would include a Suaboy chapter in there somewhere, since that topic was so iconic in his career. Moral of the story could have been, throughout your life, you will come across some annoying and stupid people. And that's when you should make a YouTube video talking about them later on and make money off of it. Probably not the best moral, but I think it's good advice. I should probably also give you guys a warning that if you are sensitive to some types of nudity, I mean, I'm not going to say which page it's on, but there is a but in this book. Just so you know. Personally, I think it's hilarious, but you know how people can be these days. If there was one big flaw that I had to point out about this book, is that it had way too many stories that he already used in his video. And I know what you guys are going to say. Oh my gosh, John, you obviously weren't paying attention. He clearly stated in the book I made video at minute 0 and 33 seconds that his book was going to contain some stories that were from his videos. Well, that's very true. I knew very well that his book was going to have familiar content. But I mean, come on. Of the 13 chapters in the book, 8 of them are from videos. That's not some. That's more than half the entire book. And none of them could have been about Suoboy. If you read them, they're like literal Control-C of his script from his videos to Control-V for his book. Gee, that sure sounds oddly familiar, as if I foreshadowed that somewhere before. Yeah, it's so weird. Is that lazy writing? Maybe. But he did make some changes here and there like he said he would. It's probably kind of one of those things where you finish something, but later on you think of something that would have been good to include, but it was too late. That's happened to me a lot. So I guess it's not completely lazy writing. If you are a big fan of James, then it could be fun to test your knowledge of how well you actually know his original script. It'd be like finding the difference between the video version and the book version. Aha! In this part, he didn't use the word "the" in the video. Or did he? Who knows? Buy the book if you're curious enough. There is one change that I noticed that I wasn't too happy about. In the Harry the Moth story, he originally, i.e. the video, talks about how praying mantises would be the runner-ups to receiving affection after butterflies. But then he decides to swap praying mantises, the king of the insect kingdom, for cockroaches. Why would you swap out something so cool for something so not cool? Whatever. I'll have you know that praying mantises are the coolest insects out there, and they're my favorite. Minus 50 points. Did I enjoy this book? Yeah. Sure, it may have had more familiar content than what I was expecting, but, you know, it's fine. If you are someone who wants a little bit of Odd Ones Out wisdom wherever you go, or you're just a big fan of James and you want to support him no matter what, then sure, get the book. You'll like it. It's reeking James all over it. And it does have some good morals in there, but this is all assuming you can still buy it. And you know what? Even if you haven't heard of James, it's a cool book. The way I see it, it's a great way to reach those that haven't watched his videos. And if that's the case, then hey, all the stories would be 100% original to them. And if you didn't like the book, well, then your expectations were way too high. And obviously you didn't read the description of his book, which means you suck. So, in conclusion, I enjoyed this book. And I rate it a 9 out of 10.
What? How dare you give me such a terrible score? Some of those points don't even make sense. Whatever. I don't need to take this from you. My book is perfect.
Hey guys, I feel like I need to clarify some things. So, obviously, James the Odd Ones Out didn't come to my house and deliver the book personally. I mean, how unrealistic is that? And speaking of James, I want to say a huge thank you to the Odd Ones Out for voicing some lines in this video. That was pretty fun. So if you're watching this somehow, James, good job on the book. I actually did enjoy it, and I look forward to a second one if you were thinking of making a second one. If you do, then please put a Suoboy story in there somewhere. I mean, you don't have to, but if you did, then that would just be nifty. You know, fun fact, it's been like 4 years since I've done a book report since high school, because, you know, colleges don't really do book reports, you know? So, excuse me if my book analysis skills seemed a bit off in this video, but you know what, I think it was okay. So, do I have anything else in store? Yes, I do. I have a lot of things in store. So, if you are new here, then be sure to hit that subscribe button and get the notifications when I make those releases. And that'll be it for this end card. Thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, stay up.